try to balance this. Squishmallow, Bookbeau. Hey guys, it's Kira, and today I'm going to be doing a haul. This is actually going to be ranging all the way back from September. It has been a while since I have done a haul. I am also going to be hauling some stuff I got from Bookbeau, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they carry like a lot of like stuff like that I really like, usually like book sleeves, and like I got like a few cute like really cute like little things from them during the course of the last few months that I have not hauled. I wanted to show you guys those. I also got quite a few books, and I got some Squishmallows between like my birthday and everything. So I'm just gonna go through and show you guys some of the stuff that I got for my birthday and the last few months. I'm actually going to start like with the makeup because I actually got some palettes that I really am very excited about. Ever since I started doing booktube and stuff, like I've kind of got more into makeup. So the first thing I got was the Urban Decay Stoned, which is a very beautiful palette. Like this is actually their sparkly palette. It has like it's supposed to like have like a lot of like little gemstones and stuff in it. I love the casing for this also. Like look how beautiful that is. It's just this beautiful, these colors are really beautiful. They're a little bit hard to apply. I have used it like a little bit. They're just like a little bit hard to apply. I think this is going to be like one of those things like that's going to be easier to pack on, but I'm just really like in love like with the color scheme on this. I have actually used like most of these colors like at this point, but it's just so beautiful. And I love the shininess. I do happen to be a huge fan of glitter. So Urban Decay is like one of my favorite brands, and the other Urban Decay palette that I ended up getting is Urban Decay Ultraviolet, which I'm gonna go ahead and open this one. I actually wanted a purple palette because when you have brown eyes, purple is supposed to be like a really good color to use. I really like the casing on this, like it's very like opalescent. It's kind of like luminous, and it's also layered, which I really like. And then we have the palette itself, which has this beautiful stunning pink right here, and then we have the purples, and it kind of goes like into a dark so that you can actually do a smoky eye if you wanted to. And then we also kind of have here like it's almost like a rust color, which is also very, very beautiful. It's just, this is such a beautiful palette, and it's got like a lot of dimension to it, like a lot of different color variation, which I also really like. I'm also very fascinated like by this color here. It's called Lucid, and it's a mint green color, which is really good for like the corners of your eyes, the inner corners of your eyes. And then we have a beautiful like kind of purplish pink here also, which is called Optimize, and I really love that one also. The next two palettes are actually Anastasia Norvino palettes. I'm gonna save like my favorite palette that I've gotten in this for last. It's crazy because like I'm buying makeup and I'm not even like really going anywhere. I'm basically buying it just to film videos because I've been, you know, like at home pretty much the majority of the time. Now these Norvino palettes like that I got, they are typically $29 even, but a lot of the makeup places have been having them on sale, and they were only like $15, which they are very like pigmented, which I really love. So this is one of the Norvino palettes, and they're actually like volumes. It's got this beautiful like pink, kind of like fuchsia pink color, and it's got like this beautiful luminescent green and this luminescent kind of like reddish pink color. And then we have like this like darker pink. Really enjoy this palette. I think it's just beautiful. It's got very kind of like an earthy kind of sunset tone to it, and I always keep the plastic, and it kind of like was reflected too like in the front of this. This is the Norvino Mini Pro Pigment Palette Volume 2. And then there's one more palette to go, and then we will like take a look at some of the other stuff. Next thing I'm going to be doing is the Squishmallows. And there's timestamps like down like below, like if there's one area like that you're more interested in than the others, so that you don't necessarily have to sit through this if you don't want to. Because I know this is not something that everybody's into. So this is actually my favorite palette out of all of the ones like that I've gotten. I love the cherries. I'm kind of like a retro. I like the retro style fashion. So like cherries for me like remind me of the retro. This is the Mini Pro Pigment Palette Volume 3. I also got this for $15. I also had a coupon, and this is also beautiful. This red and this sparkly like are my two favorite things like right here. These two colors like together like are my favorite thing to use, but this has like been like one of my favorite palettes. It's extremely pigmented. I've been using it for like a few of my videos. If you've ever seen me like with a red eyeshadow, I've most likely used like this. I also love that color too because it's a deeper red and gives me like a little bit more contrast, like when I want to use like the sparkly with it. I love this palette. This is actually one of my favorites. Okay, so that covers all of the makeup palettes. I actually bought them for myself for my birthday, so happy birthday to me. But I really wanted some new palettes, something new to play with for my eyeshadow. The next thing I'm going to go over is my Squishmallows, because I am a huge fan of Squishmallows because they're just like so cuddly and like they really help like my anxiety. Like if I'm having like a bad anxiety night, like it just feels so much better with those. So during my birthday in September, me and my stepdad like went around and we hunted for the Halloween Squishmallows, which I was so grateful because like they were pretty well picked over like in a lot of like different places. So I was really grateful that we were able to find, we found about 3 of them. These are the smaller ones. This is Marvin the monster, and then this is Catalina the cat, and they are so cute and they're so squishy and I just love them so much. Marvin, oh my god, like I love Marvin. Like I'm so happy like that I was able to find like this one. And then we also found one bigger one right here, which is I love this one too, which is Bart the bat. And I love like the neon and black contrast. Like I've always like liked neon green with black, and he is just so squishy and so soft and comfortable and just such a wonderful addition to my Squishmallow. I'm slowly getting a Squishmallow collection like going on, but I have no regrets because I just love them so much. Shortly after I obtained these for my birthday, I discovered that they were also going to be doing Disney ones, which I was really excited about. And for those of you that know I'm a huge fan of Lilo and Stitch, they actually had a Stitch one, which I'm so excited for. Isn't he just so cute? I love him. He's just, he's got the ears, like the ears are perfect. He's got like the little thing like on his back. It's just adorable. So I was really excited for that one also. And then the last Squishmallow that I ended up getting is little baby Yoda, because I am obsessed with baby Yoda. I think he's just the cutest like little thing. So I'm really happy about this one also. These are actually like, we found all of these at Walgreens, and Walgreens like is one of the major providers for Squishmallows if there's like not a Costco around. So really excited for this, or Five Below, because Five Below seems like it's been kind of a place like to get Squishmallows also. I also ended up investing in a couple of Funko Pops because I also like Funko Pops, you know, Funko Pops. I love Funko Pops. So they came out like with these remixes. I don't know if you guys remember the aliens from Toy Story, but we actually do have some of the aliens from Toy Story. This is the Roz alien. It's a crossover. They're calling them remixes. And this is the alien from Toy Story, but it's dressed as Roz, which I love these. And there's actually like a lot of those like that. They have like one dressed as Wally. They have another one that's dressed as Evie. They have another like one that's dressed as Mater from Cars. They have one like that's dressed as Sully. They actually have, it looks like they have a couple Sullys. Oh, they have a Sully 10-inch. I actually wouldn't mind getting that one because yeah, I love the 10-inch ones. And then they have Miss Incredible. So like they have quite a few of these. Now the other like one I got was actually a Target exclusive, and he is flocked, and he is the alien, but he's Doug from Up. So it's alien dressed as Doug from Up, and I absolutely love him. He's flocked, but he's only flocked like on his like little puppy uniform, and he's just like cute. He's so cute, and I just could not resist him. Now they do have other like ones for this series also. They have the Dot. I don't remember who that's from, but they also have Buzz Lightyear, and then they have Carl, Doug, which is one I have. They have Russell right here. They have Woody, they have Zurg, and then they have Dory, which I haven't seen like Dory anywhere. I think that's probably a pretty popular one, but yeah, so I ended up getting a few Funko Pops also. Not that I needed a ton more Funko Pops, but the other thing that I ended up getting also, I don't know for you guys, I haven't really discussed it too much like on this channel, but just so you guys like know, I am completely obsessed with Yuri on Ice, and I ended up investing in the Blu-ray so that I could just like watch it a million more times, because this was like one of those anime series and it kind of like had a subtle like male romance to it, but it takes place like with figure skaters, and I am a huge fan of figure skating. It's like actually like my favorite. Like if I had to have a favorite sport, figure skating is like my favorite sport. So Yuri on Ice was just amazing, like the sound effects, like the music. I mean, it really like just takes you like on a journey, like about, and it felt very personal, like to the skaters, which is Yuri. And there's actually 2 Yuris on this. And then you have Victor, who's like a champion, and he's opted to train Yuri. I didn't like the English dub on this, but I really loved the subtitles because it was just such a cute, slow burn, male romance kind of. And they're supposed to be coming out with a movie. They were supposed to be coming out with a movie in 2020, but they haven't not done that yet. And I highly do recommend like this if you enjoy anime and figure skating. This is just, it's amazing, and like I really hope that they make more of these, because anime, like, it's kind of like a slow burn thing. Sometimes they make more of these and sometimes they don't. But I absolutely love this, so it was just really good. So I'm gonna also talk about the stuff I got from Bookbeau. I actually decided to try one of their book beans. And this thing is like really handy. Like it's kind of like a pillow, but you can actually set it on your lap, and like it allows like your book to stay open, and like it's at a very comfortable like angle like to read. I've also tried using like this like while I'm laying on my side, and it works out really well that way too, which I absolutely positively love that, because like it's just I can lay like on my side and it's propped up just enough to where like I'm not having like to arc my neck like in a really weird angle just to read my book. I love this thing so much. I've actually also been using it like in some of my Instagram photos because it props the book up just right, in just the right angle, like that the pictures like end up looking like really amazing. So I've actually done like a lot of like playing like around with this, and I love this like so much. It was just so amazing. Like, and this is from Bookbeau, and I really love their stuff. I have been buying from like them quite a bit like over the years, but this is my first book bean, and it's not going to be my last because I'm actually contemplating like getting a second one for my Instagram photos, but also because like I just love them. You can actually like use them as a pillow too, which is great. So there's like a lot of uses for this. This is just a perfect and amazing. Like I really love it, and it's actually pretty solid too. Like it's not like one of those things that's going to go flat easily, which is something that I was really worried about when I ordered it, but it was just so great. Now I ended up getting a couple book sleeves. I had to pre-order them. One was from, I believe, September. The other one I just got recently. So the one I actually pre-ordered was this, and I do believe like they still have this. I'm not sure like if they're gonna have like this at the time. I'm gonna leave like their link also like in the description. But this is actually a Beauty and the Beast that looks like a stained glass Beauty and the Beast, and it says, "I want adventure in the great wide somewhere." And you have like the little Bookbeau emblem right here, but it's got Beauty and the Beast, and I'm just a huge, that's like my favorite fairy tale. So like I was really excited for this. It's so awesome, and I love it so much. So I have that, and then the other thing that I got from Bookbeau is this beautiful marble type material, and this is actually like one of the big ones, just like the Beauty and the Beast, like when these have zippers, and these are actually like, they're very structured, like they're not flimsy at all, which I really love because it does add a lot of extra support to protecting the book. And I love the fact like that as a zipper, because the zipper actually prevents me from accidentally putting my hand in the top and ruining the pages anyway, which is what this is supposed to prevent. This is their extra large. Both of these are the extra large Bookbeaus. And I've actually have an extra large one that I've been using quite a bit like over like the last like couple of years. It's still in really good condition. It's held up really well. I do believe that these are also waterproof, which is wonderful, so that if it rains, like you don't even have to worry about it. It's just, they're so wonderful, like they're so like sturdy, like really sturdy. And I highly recommend like that if you guys are hunting for book sleeves, like that you go to Bookbeau. I am not a rep for them or anything. I have had personal good experience like with their products. I have bought a Bookbeau. I've bought a Bookbeau book sleeve in pretty much every size and have had wonderful experiences with all of them. Now the smaller sizes do not have zippers, but the only ones that do have zippers are the extra large ones. But I really love these. So once again, if you are looking for something like that to fit your book, or a book sleeve, or you've never had a book sleeve before and you want to try one, I do highly recommend these because they just last so long. And just so you guys like know, they actually recently started carrying Nintendo Switch cases, which is also really awesome because, you know, that kind of like fits perfectly. in like the whole scheme of things, like, and it usually has like the same kind of material like that those do. So just an FYI. So I think we're just going to go ahead and get into the books now, because I've got quite a few books to show you. It's been quite a while since like we did a haul. So I'm just going to show you guys like pretty much where I got these. Now it's been a while, so I don't remember like 100% like where I've gotten all of these, but I'm just going to talk to you like about like where, like what I got. So for like a while I was kind of like in the middle of like a paranormal romance like kind of binge, and I ended up getting A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair and A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. And these two books are a modern Hades and Persephone retelling. These are the first two books of the series. There's actually another book that's currently out. These two books are told from Persephone's perspective, and the other book that's out by this same author, the other book like that I don't have yet, because I want to read these first before I decide like whether or not I want the other book. But the other book is actually told from Hades' perspective, and we're actually waiting on one more book in the series, which is supposed to be coming out, I believe, in March of 2021 to finish the completed trilogy for this. And these are both paranormal romance books. These are adult paranormal romance books, so I do believe that they do have like the adult content. But I'm very intrigued because these have been getting a lot of like hype, and I really just like, you know, want to get into those. Now some of the stuff I'm not sure if I hauled before, so I apologize if I did. The other book that I got is White Tears, Brown Scars, How White Feminism Betrays Women of Color. This is another nonfiction book, which I'm really curious about. And it kind of talks like about like how white feminism betrays women of color. So this is a book that I pre-ordered, and I've been looking at it like for months. So I'm really excited for that one also. Another book that I ended up picking up was The Godfather by Mario Puzo. There is a movie from The Godfather by Francis Ford Coppola, and I haven't seen the movie, but I figure like the book is a good place to start. This is the first book in the trilogy. I'm Italian, so like I'm all about, you know, like mafias and stuff like that. Like I think they're interesting. One of my favorite books of all time happens to be The Iceman, which is kind of like a reporting like of a hitman who was called the Pollock. So if you guys are interested in true crime, like that's a really good book to check out. But it's about Richard Kuklinski, who is a crime guy. Off topic, but this is something like that I'm like really excited about, and it's considered a classic, and this is the 50th anniversary edition. So I got this a while back, called Aleph the Unseen. The blurb is outrageously enjoyable. The energetic plotting of Philip Pullman, and the nimble imagery of Neil Gaiman, and the intellectual ambition of Neil Stevenson. And it's by G. Willow Wilson, and it's winner of the World Fantasy Award for Best Novel. I haven't seen too much about this book. I've only seen like a little bit here and there. But from what I've seen, this has actually gotten fairly good ratings. Blurb says, winner of the World Fantasy Award, Aleph the Unseen is set in an unnamed Middle Eastern security state on the verge of revolution, when the hero, a hacker who shields descendants and outlaws from surveillance, loses his love and gains an enchanted book of the Jinn. He also realizes the government's head of electronic security has a very personal reason for pursuing him. And when dark magic meets information technology, the stakes are raised, and Aleph must struggle for life or death, aided by forces seen and unseen. And that just sounded so wonderful to me, and it's gotten pretty good reviews, so I'm really excited for that one also. So some of the stuff I got for my birthday, which I'm going to have to dig out like one of the other books. This is one of the books 12 Months of April gave me. It's Tigana by Guy Garville Kay. According to this, a masterful epic of magic, politics, war, and the power of love and hate. This is a rare spellbinding novel in which myth comes alive and magic reaches out to touch us. Tigana is a magical story of beleaguered land struggling to be free. It is a tale of people so cursed by the black sorcery of a cruel, despotic king that even the name of their once beautiful homeland cannot be spoken or remembered. But years after the devastation, a handful of courageous men and women embarks upon a dangerous crusade to overthrow their conquerors and bring back the dark world the brilliance of a long-lost name, Tigana. against the magnificently rendered background of a world both sensuous and barbaric. The sweeping epic of a passionate people pursuing their dream is breathtaking in its vision, changing forever the boundaries of fantasy fiction. I've heard this author is pretty problematic. I can't remember exactly like what it said, but I'm really curious because I've heard such amazing things about this particular book. Thank you so much for 12 Months of April for sending this to me. I'm really excited to get to it, and it's one of my books like that was on my wish list. So another book that I ended up getting is by Garth Nix. I actually still haven't not read a Garth Nix book, but this is called The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. And it's actually blurbed by V.E. Schwab. This is my favorite kind of tale, one where the magic and the real nest together like pages in a book, a delightful read. Another person blurbed it, Veronica Roth, who was the author of Divergent, a warm, whimsical delight. The Left-Handed Booksellers of London is a witty, clever adventure in an exquisitely detailed world where you will love to escape into. I've heard like this, I actually haven't seen like this as much on BookTube. I know like the Paper Traveler just recently hauled this, but it hasn't been like a prominent book I've seen like on YouTube. I've seen it more on Bookstagram than I have on this platform. So honestly, like I'm really excited. I'm hoping to get to it in November, but like I'm kind of taking my time. Like right now I'm reading The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic because the third book in that series is coming out this Tuesday at the time of this filming, which the third book in the Poppy War series comes out on Tuesday the 17th. So really excited about this also. I think this is going to be really amazing. But it's got Merlin in it, and there's a crime boss. That's all I really need to know about it. It just sounds amazing. One of the taglines on it is authorized to kill and sell books. So yes, it's also the author of Sabriel. The other book that I ended up getting is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Honestly, I mean, the premise for this sounded interesting. It says space holds countless secrets. She just found the deadliest one. The main character is named Kira, which I think is a really good name. And it's spelled the same way as my name and everything. So very excited about that because usually people like spell like K-A-R-A or you know whatever else, which is it's completely okay, like whatever spelling, but you know, honestly, like though I love the cover of this so much. This is a science fiction. The end papers on this, we have spirals, which is just brilliant right here. I love this so much. It's just so beautiful. Also, we have this on the front, insignia for this. This is by the same author that wrote Aragorn, and this is the science fiction adult debut for this particular book. I'm a little nervous because I've seen a few people talking about this book around book Twitter, and they do say like it's a little bit slow, but overall like it seems like people like it more towards the end than they do the beginning. This is a pretty thick book, so this would definitely take me like a little bit of time to get through. But I'm still very intrigued by it. I'm still very happy I have it. So looks like I'm going to talk about same book, but I actually pre-ordered this. This is Legendborn by Tracy Dion, and this is something like I was really excited about. This has also gotten like a lot of really good reviews. And it says, after her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family members or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack on her first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. A secret society of so-called Legendborn, students who hunt the creatures down. A mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there is more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infuriating the Legendborn as one of her initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn, with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into the society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveals themselves as the descendants of King Arthur, Knights explains that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. This is the first book, I believe, in a series. Really excited about this. Well, after I ordered this, because this is the standard edition, I ended up getting the Owl Crate edition, which I'm really excited about too. And these are both so beautiful, like that I'm just really grateful to have both of them because I was not expecting to get 2 copies. But this copy, like right here, not only is it signed by the author, which I'm really excited about, but the we have this right here, the hardback, which I believe, if we go into this one, this is actually like the reverse. Like the standard edition has black and red, and this is red and black, which is pretty awesome. It's like right here also, the Owl Crate one also has this beautiful inside of the dust jacket. And it says, "This is your beginning." And this is so beautiful. I love this. It's like, it's kind of like a graffiti like style design, but it's also got like the rainbow style effects, which I also really love. It's just so pretty. I'm really excited for this book. I can't wait for there to be more out so that I can binge them. That I ended up picking up is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, which is illustrated by Sarah Lotman. And I do believe like that this is described as a horror book that takes place in 2 different time periods, like one at a university like earlier on, and then one of the girls returns. I believe she's acting like in a adaptation of like the really messed up stuff that happened like when she was younger and went to this same school, and the same kind of stuff ends up reoccurring. So it's really interesting. I've heard like really good things about Plain Bad Heroines, and so I'm really excited for that one also. It's considered a adult horror fiction. So I was really shocked that I found these because these are actually, I believe, considered like out of print, and somehow Target had them and they were brand new. So I ended up deciding to pick them up. I ended up getting The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon, which is beautiful. Like this is just such a beautiful book. And it's got like this beautiful front on this also. So pretty. I love it. And it's got numbers, and it says 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, and then 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 on it. I loved Prior of the Orange Tree so much, which is also a book that she recently wrote, and she's still working on this series. I believe the series is going to be like 5 or 6 books long, like it's going to be pretty lengthy. And she already has 3 books out for it, and the 4th book is going to be coming out, I believe, early next year. So really excited about that. Now, this is actually the 2nd book in the series. I just realized like that. I ended up getting this one also, which is the 1st book in the series, and this is called The Bone Season, and this is the Bone Season trilogy. I mean, not trilogy, but it's got like 6 books. So, and then this one actually has the red on it, which is also very beautiful. So the year is 2059. Paige Mahoney is working in the criminal underworld of Scion, London. Her job to scout for information by breaking into people's minds. For Paige is a dream walker, a rare and kind of clairvoyant, and under Scion law she commits treason simply by breathing. It is raining the day her life changes forever. Attacked, kidnapped, and drugged, Paige is transported to Oxford, a city kept secret for 200 years, governed by an otherworldly race called the Rephem, who seek to control clairvoyance for their own purposes. Paige is assigned to the care of Warden, a powerful Rephaite. He is her captor, her trainer, her natural enemy. But if she wants to regain her freedom, she will have to get close to him to learn some things of his mind and his own mysterious motives. The Bone Season introduces a compelling heroine, a young woman discovering her powers in a world where everything has been taken from her. It also introduces an extraordinary young writer with huge ambition and teeming imagination. Samantha Shannon has created a bold new reality in the riveting debut. So this is actually Samantha Shannon's debut books, and there's quite a space between them. So I'm kind of like wondering like about the writing of these like versus the writing of Prior of the Orange Tree, which was amazing. So if you guys have been hanging around my channel for a bit, you guys know that I'm really obsessed with the House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This has inspired me to like to start searching out other things that he's written. So I ended up getting one of his most notable series, and I'm really excited for these because like these are books like that I've been looking at for quite a while, and they're kind of like a werewolf paranormal romance, I believe. This is the first one. It's called Wolf Song, and it is so beautiful, and I'm like super excited to read this. And it's Ox was 12 when his daddy taught him a very valuable lesson. He said that Ox wasn't worth anything and people would never understand him. Then he left. Ox was 16 when he met the boy on the road, the boy who talked and talked and talked. Ox found out later the boy hadn't spoken in almost 2 years before that day, and that boy belonged to a family who had moved into the house at the end of the lane. Ox was 17 when he found out the boy's secret, and it painted the world around him in colors of red, orange, and violet, of alpha and beta and omega. Ox was 23 when the murderer came to town and tore a hole in his head and heart. The boy chased after the monster with revenge in his blood-red eyes, leaving Ox behind to pick up the pieces. It's been 3 years since that fateful day, and the boy is back, except now he's a man, and Ox can no longer ignore the song that howls between them. So I'm really excited. So I got the first one, I got the second one, which is Raven's Song, and I got the third one, which is Heart Song, and the fourth book, I can't remember like what the name of it is, I'm going to put it down there, recently came out, and hopefully will get that one for Christmas. So I'm really excited because like I'm hoping like to binge these all in 2021. Because I am a huge fan of TJ Klune. Like I love his books and I think you guys should definitely check him out. The other book like that I got, and I only got the first like one of this because I want to try this one out first, but I did sample this one also, and it's called The Lightning Struck Heart by TJ Klune. If you guys want a gay ray of sunshine, this book is that book. There is a scene like right at the beginning of this called the Villain Monologue, and it's got two of the guys, like our heroes, who have been captured by the villain. One of the heroes proceeds to taunt the other hero in front of the villain about his sex life, and chaos ensues, and at one point the villain actually ends up joining in on making fun of him. This like was just so outlandish, and if you want a real taste of TJ Klune's humor, I believe like that this book would really do that for you, because how it starts off is exactly the type of humor that you're going to get pretty much throughout most of his books. I believe The House on the Cerulean Sea was a bit more subtle about the humor, but The Extraordinaries, which is his first YA debut about with superheroes, is more similar to this kind of humor. So if you've read that book, I think you're going to enjoy this one also, especially having to do with the humor. So I want to say like back in August, I went to a used bookstore, and I already had this one, Lice by John Gwynne, but I was trading in like a bunch of books, and so I had a lot of credit from them, and I ended up picking up the rest of this series. So I ended up getting Valor by John Gwynne, which is the second one. I ended up getting Ruin by John Gwynne. These are really thick books, but I'm really excited because like, who doesn't love a thick book? And then Wrath by John Gwynne, which is the fourth book in the series. And yeah, so yeah, I was walking around like with these books, and like it was a stack, but really excited because like I've heard that these books are so wonderful. I've seen a lot of other booktubers read these and they've really enjoyed them, and I'm so excited. And actually, come to find out, like the writing in this like isn't the biggest, but it also isn't the smallest, so I probably will breeze right through these. Super excited like though, because like I've been really looking forward to these. This is another series I'm hoping to get to like in 2021, but I have so many things I want to get to that we'll have to see, because you know there's only so much time like in a day and in a year to get through stuff, and I haven't even gotten like through all the stuff that I hope to get through in 2020, even though I've read over 100 books. So another thing that I ended up getting, I'm really excited about. This is my first time. I haven't even opened like these yet because I was waiting to look at them. This is both of the books like that are the Illumicrate exclusive editions of Uprooted and Spinning Silver, and I've seen like some pictures of these already, and they are beautiful, and it's actually a beautiful box set, and they wrapped it in beautiful plastic, and I'm just so excited. I saw these like pictured, and I had to have them. I haven't actually read Naomi Novak yet, but I hope to get to these very soon. I've always actually liked the UK covers more than I like the American covers. Like these were just like a lot more artistic to me. The first book is Uprooted, and it has a quote on the side of the box. It says, "Our dragon doesn't eat the girls he takes." So that's actually a quote from Uprooted. And then we have Spinning Silver, and then it says, "A power claimed and challenged and thrice carried out is true." And so we have that. We have this beautiful kind of like pattern up top, and we have like how it says the Illumicrate exclusive editions on the side. So let's go ahead and look at these beauties because I have not yet taken these out of the box. If I can get them out of the box. Wow, these are like fitted in here like really well. Okay, got it. Ooh. Sprayed edges, which is another reason like why I got these, because sprayed edges. Anyway, so this is Spinning Silver. Like I said, I really love the covers on these. They're just very artistic and beautiful. This has a beautiful silver sprayed edges. I really love that. Now the end papers are specialized also, which are gorgeous. Love this. We have a hardcover engraving. And then we also have, okay, so they're not signed, but they do have a stamp, which is how some of them do. No, that's part of the book. Never mind. These are just pretty much exclusive editions, so very beautiful. Spinning Silver. Ooh, let's look at the spine for a second because I just noticed this because the spine is just gorgeous. And it's got a quote on it that says, "A power claimed and challenged and thrice carried out is true." So it's basically like the same thing that was on the side of the book or book box. Okay, and then the other book that I got is Uprooted, which actually like this has the gold sprayed edges. I love this so much. And then we have the gold sprayed edges here. And then in here we got a bunch of little trees, which I bet the front has the trees on it. Gorgeous. Little house. And then the trees, side of the cover. And then it also says the same thing. "Our dragon doesn't eat the girls he takes." It's beautiful. And once again, Uprooted. Battery died. Okay, so I actually ended up getting a few other things. Actually, I read these in paperback to begin with, and I got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout and Kingdom in Flesh and Fire in hardback. These are Barnes & Noble exclusives, and I originally read these in paperback. I'm obsessed, like obsessed with this series. If you are a fan of A Court of Thorns and Roses, please, for the love of God, read these, because these have like the same kind of fantasy element, except like it's with vampires, that the Court of Thorns and Roses series had. And I love these so much, like that I ended up having to splurge on the hardcovers. These are so good. So good. I ended up rating both of these like a 5 out of 5 stars. Book Talk has been talking about these. Like these are actually everywhere on Book Talk, and the series is blowing up. The third book in the series is coming out in March, and I believe the fourth book is going to be coming out shortly after that. And then I think there's another book that is going to be from Hawk's perspective that is going to be out in 2022. So there's a lot coming for this series. There's a short story that I just read today that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I love this. Like, Hawk is man goals. Like, if you were like looking for like the ideal like person like to be with, I feel like Hawk is like that person. Like, I think I found like my book soulmate, like not just a boyfriend, like a book soulmate, which is kind of a big deal. The wedding's on Tuesday. So yes, like I absolutely just I love these. Like, they're just so good. So I definitely recommend like this series, like hands down. And this actually set me like spiraling like into like reading pretty much anything that Jennifer L. Armentrout comes out with, because like she's an incredible, absolutely incredible author for paranormal romance. Like, and she writes YA paranormal romance and new adult paranormal romance, which is like has like more adult sexual scenes in it. So good. Absolutely recommend. I've seen like this book around quite a bit. I got it for Halloween. I still have yet to read it. It's called Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. I am scared to death of clowns. I think clowns are really terrifying. I've listened to it by Stephen King on audiobook, which was also really terrifying. I was curious about this because everybody's like was saying like how scary like and screwed up this is. So when you read horror books, it's like if they're not screwed up, like at least like a good portion of them, like why even bother? Like that's why that's like one of the reasons like why you read them, like, you know, like screwed upness, right? And the scariness, because usually like, the screwed upness and the scariness kind of go hand in hand. So I'm kind of like really intrigued by this. This is a YA horror book, so I'm kind of like interested to see like where they go with this. Another book that I ended up getting is Over the Woodward Wall by Deborah A. Deborah Baker, which is actually the first in a series, and the pen name for A. Deborah Baker is actually a pen name for Sheena McGuire. And it says, Avery is an exceptional child. Everything he does is precise, from the way he washes his face in the morning to the way he completes his homework without complaint, without fuss, without prompt. Zib is also an exceptional child because all children are in their own ways. But where everything Avery does and can be measured, nothing Zib does can possibly be predicted except for the fact that she can always be relied upon to be unpredictable. They live in the same street. They live in different worlds. On an unplanned detour from home to school one morning, Avery and Zib find themselves climbing over a stone wall into the up and under, an impossible land filled with mystery, adventure, and the strangest creatures. And they must find themselves in each other if they are to also find their way out and back to their own lives. So I'm really excited for that also. Let's go ahead and talk about all of the editions that I now own of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have no shame. I love this book. It's by V.E. Schwab. I'm just going to go ahead and go over, if you guys have been on this channel, you've already seen kind of some of these before, but I figured I'd go back over it again because I'm obsessed with all of these books, and they're all unique editions and they're all gorgeous. This is the Forbidden Planet edition. It's got more blues in it. It does have the blue sprayed edges. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's got beautiful blue end papers. And we have this beautiful blue on the front, and it also a signed copy. The next edition that I have, this one is actually the standard UK edition because this is also different from all the others, which I have also shown on here before, but it's got this is more of a copper feel to it, with the blue flowers, and it has the same end pages as the one from Forbidden Planet does, but it has this little guy on the front, which I believe is supposed to be Luke. And this one is not signed, but it's just gorgeous. So I really love that one also. The next edition that I have is the Illumicrate edition. And this one has the black and silver and white flowers, which is also just absolutely gorgeous. This is an exclusive edition. It's got these beautiful, kind of silvery black sprayed edges, which is also gorgeous. It has these beautiful end papers where we have Addie, and then we have Luke on the other side. And then we have this beautiful, beautiful front of this also, which I am just really, really obsessed with. Waterstone's exclusive edition. And this has blue, but this is more of a gold than a copper. The UK version is more coppery. These are the end papers, which are also extremely unique. You have Addie underneath her tree, and you have Luke underneath his, and they're kind of more separated. But this one actually has Addie in front of that. It's got the beautiful gold sprayed edges, and this one is signed. The next edition that I have is from Owlcrate. This is another Owlcrate exclusive edition that comes without a hardcover, and it's actually modeled after the US edition. And it's got these beautiful spine, beautiful front, and then it's got this quote on the back that looks like a diamond. It's gorgeous. And it says, "Never pray to the gods that answer after dark." It's just gorgeous. This one is also got beautiful end pages, which I love. And it's got the little ring that they talk about a lot inside of there, and it's also signed. Now the last edition that I'm going to talk about for the Addie LaRue is actually the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This has a little bit of bonus content in it, which is one of the reasons why I had to get this one also, because it is Barnes & Noble exclusive and I love the bonus content. And you can kind of see how that one from Owlcrate kind of mirrors this one, except it has V.E. Schwab. And it's gorgeous. These are the end papers with the 7 stars each on them. Has little birds on the front here, that looks like it's getting ready to fly off. This one is not signed, but it's so beautiful nonetheless. Quite honestly, I've never owned so many books of so many different versions of the same book before, but if I had to start somewhere, as far as owning all the different editions, I'm really glad that I ended up with all of these editions because they're all different and they're all beautiful. So definitely very happy with this. Okay, we are almost at the end of this. I just have a few more books to talk about. Most of these I've actually read, like that I've acquired recently, and I can't remember if I've talked about all of them, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go over them with them like really quickly. This was the other book that I got from 12 Months of April. It's called Stargazing by Jen Wang, and I really love this one. I read this in the month of October, and it was so cute. It was so good. Oh, it was amazing. And Moon is everything Christina isn't. It's just like when two opposites like kind of get together, and it's this cute like little like YA graphic novel, and I love like the little artwork in this. Also, it's contemporary, and it's got some hard-hitting topics, like there's some like medical ailments like in here and everything. If you're curious about like those, just leave a comment like down below. I just don't like want to, you know, spoil too much for anybody, but like this was so cute. Like I love this so much. It was just amazing, and it was so adorable. This was one like that I ended up giving a 5 out of 5 stars to, so thank you so much, April, for sending me this for my birthday. Another book that I ended up getting for my birthday was from Celeste from the World of Reading, so thank you so much, Celeste, for getting me this. This was actually like on my wish list for Book Depository, which I was really excited about, and it's called My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I actually read this during that month that I had to stay at home from work, and I'm still kind of like working from home, but I didn't have commute time anymore, so it actually allowed me like to get quite a bit of reading done. This was an amazing book. I've read it before, but I actually really love the UK cover, and it was like one of those books that I loved so much like that I wanted both covers for it. So thank you so much, Celeste. Like I love this so much. Like this book is just so beautiful. I love the bright blue on this. It's just, oh. So basically like this book is about this young girl who pretty much gets groomed into having a romantic relationship with her teacher. And this is a very hard-hitting, very dark book. And contemporary like dark books seem to hit me like a lot more like than fantasy dark books, because like the themes tend to be like a lot more like closer to home. If you guys are at all triggered, and this is not something like that normally triggers me, but like it really like shows like how abuse can be woven into your adult life, and how you end up internalizing that abuse so much like that it can become a part of your identity. So you actually rationalize like that experience like that you have, and almost like you gaslight yourself like into believing that this stuff like wasn't as harmful to you as it was, because like if you were to give up the image like that you had of yourself during like that time like that you went through like all of that trauma, you wouldn't be the same person. You wouldn't even know how to function. Like that's how deeply ingrained like her trauma was. And so like this takes place like in 2 different timelines, like when she is a young girl starting at 15 years old up until she goes to college, and then like several years after like when she's in the workforce and, you know, like things are happening. So this is such a hard-hitting book. It was amazing. Like this was definitely one of my favorite books of the year. I do highly recommend this. Like though, just make sure like you're cautious like about like how hard-hitting it is. Another couple books like that I got were the paranormal romance books, which was Reborn Yesterday by Tessa Bailey, and also This Time Tomorrow by Tessa Bailey. These are, Tessa Bailey typically tends to be a contemporary romance author, but these were her paranormal romance debut, and they have vampires in them. So I wasn't a huge fan. I haven't read this one yet, and I've actually seen like some people love this more than this one. Some people don't love this more than this one. So I'm going to at least attempt it because I bought it, but if I don't enjoy it, then I'm going to end up unhauling it, because I'm actually going to be unhauling this one. I liked it, but it just felt like after like reading From Blood and Ash, because by Jennifer Alt-Armentrout, I just discussed that one. That one's kind of like ruined me. Like this one just felt like so underdeveloped in comparison, and I just didn't really like feel it. And like I just felt like it wasn't like really fleshed out for me. I mean, it wasn't like the worst book I've ever read, but like it definitely like was one of my worst books of the year. I think I only gave this like a 2.5 stars, 3 stars, something like we're around there, and I didn't like it. Especially like not for paranormal romance standards. This really wasn't for me. I didn't really like it. So another book that I ended up getting, I can't remember if I talked about this one, but I'm actually looking for excuses to talk about this one, and it's Hench by Natalie Zena Walshcott. I also read this in October, and oh my god, like this was one of my most anticipated releases for September, and I love this so much. This is another favorite book of the year for me. I really want everybody to read this because it is just so good. This actually follows Anna, who is a henchman, and she gets hired by a temp agency to go and do her thing like with henchmen like kind of work. She does like a lot of computer work and analytics and stuff like that, and she ends up in a situation like where the superhero actually injures her, and she's gaslighted by the police officers like that. Oh, well, how did the supervillain injure you? And she's like, the supervillain didn't injure me, the superhero did. And the cop's like, oh, I know you must be confused, but this was definitely like very calculated. This book was very like well done. Like it kind of explains like the like measures like that she takes like as a henchman, and it's very like technical like in the writing, but like it's not like technical like in a way like that's hard to understand. Like it was very fluently written, and it was so good. And it's like really like ingrained like, you know, what it means to be a henchman. I love this book so much, and like I just want everybody to read it. So this is like another book like that I'm gonna take like every opportunity to mention, because a lot of people are not talking about this book, and I don't know why. Like it was so good. Like this is definitely a 5 out of 5 stars for me, but it was amazing. And I'm hoping to do like a full-fledged review on this because I need to talk about this book like extensively. Like I just want to really dive into it. We talked about Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I ended up getting Lux. This has 2 different books in it. This is the collector's edition. I ended up getting the second one in this, which is actually like in a stack over there somewhere. And I ended up getting like the 3rd book collector's edition, which has 1 book and some pre-stories in it. So I ended up like, there's 2 books in here plus a short story like from the guy's perspective like towards the end. And this is actually like the series that Jennifer L. Armentrout is known for. I loved this. I see like why she is known for like this. This is a YA paranormal romance with aliens, and it is epic. It's so good. Like, and I breezed right through it. Like it was just, it had me hooked. I cannot wait to like dive back into like to this series because I'm trying to pace myself. After I read From Blood and Ash, I got into like a really big reading slump because of those books, because they were so good, and this was the only thing that pulled me out of it. Like it reinvigorated me. So like I really love this, and it was just so good. Another book that I ended up getting was Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and this is a manga, but this is a horror manga, and it's all in black and white. It's really dark. But this book in particular, and there's 2 other ones, have volumes 1 through 3 in the books. And this is a complete like set of like the entire series like of Uzumaki. But this is about spirals in this town that's haunted by spirals. And spirals like are just popping up everywhere, and you can find spirals like in everything. Like your conchial like in your ear has a spiral. Curly hair like this has a spiral. Your fingerprints have spirals. Snails, like these people were becoming like giant snails, like, and they had spirals. And this was just, they say like that this is one of those books like that you can't read at night, and I didn't have a problem like with that part, but it was so good. Like I really enjoyed it. Like it was a lot of fun. It was definitely like something like that I've never read before, so like I was really enjoying like that. And I'm going to be checking out like the other 2 books that this author has written, like that are kind of like in the same format, and even some of like the newer books like that are coming out, because like this was just fabulous. Like it was so good, and it was perfect for October. So guys, we are finally at the end of this video. This took forever. I'm sorry if you stuck with me until the end. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to do like the best I could, like describing everything, and there was just a lot. So I'm gonna like try like not to wait so like long next time, like before like I do a haul video. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like and subscribe, the little bell icon if you guys want to receive emails every single time I post. I am also on Instagram, Amazon, Goodreads, and Twitter. Those links are linked in the description below. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys again very soon.